What's up, everybody? Welcome to the new intro. Yeah, that's right. All new intro for the Pine Room Podcast. A little bit of new music, some new style. I really haven't written a script for what to say yet, so here it is, the new intro. Yeah, maybe some sounds like a laser gun. Or some monkeys. Or some aliens. Or, explosions.
Missiles launched.
Either way, enjoy this for the time being, and enjoy the show. You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Pine Room Podcast, episode 51. It's been a week since we've been in here, and we've had a lot of stuff going on. I'm behind with a lot of stuff because we've just been on the radio for over
10 hours
last week. It's been just an absolute mess, just cutting audio and interviews and cleaning things up, But hopefully this week I'm going to get back on the regular schedule. We're going to have the podcasts out. We're going to have Better's Last Stand out. We're going to have Soup and Stuffs out. Everything's going to come back to normal once we're back in here. But we got the new radio show has been taking up some time, so that's been a heck of a lot of work to make sure that's clean and professional. And I think it actually turned out really well. And there's still some things we're going to add and work on. But actually, right before we got going here, we were looking at some summer package bundle deals and some big summer wear gear that's going to come out here in the next couple months for spring and summer for you people that go down to the beach and enjoy the waters and the sand. You're going to have your towels and maybe some tote bags and some visors, maybe some lotion. You never
Tissues,
know. Yeah.
Sunscreen?
Yeah, sunscreen, yeah. It's going to be... we're going to come out with some cool stuff, and now we're going to... I've been kind of waiting to get into a flow, and then we got 7 hours on the radio, so that hurt me. So now we're gonna adjust this. Now I guarantee we're gonna have we're gonna get a news spot or something, or we're gonna be we're gonna be broadcasting from Channel 9 or something.
Jerry Ashman.
We can't agree to anything else for a while.
We gotta pump the brakes for a little while, but we're having fun.
Soup's signing a deal somewhere as we speak right now.
Yeah, we're gonna be broadcasting all the Pirate games from now on or something. But
pre-game every night.
We got some cool stuff coming up, though. We're really excited for. We actually are. Well, at least those that can go. We're gonna have a meeting in Elkins for a potential thing that we're doing. Yeah, I can't really give any details because I don't know that nothing's been solidified yet. But it's something that everybody can enjoy. Well, mostly everybody.
If you thought the burger was cool, you're going to think this is really cool.
Yeah,
yes.
But it's super cool, and we're still getting some details ironed out. But we had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and we're going to meet in Elkins within the next, or I think it's Wednesday.
Yep.
This next Wednesday. Or this Wednesday.
A week from tomorrow?
Yeah, a week from tomorrow. God, if it was tomorrow, I would.
Well, it'll be a week from yesterday when this comes out, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
weeks from yesterday. So we'll keep everybody updated on that.
But that's
be really exciting.
If you were on the outside listening to this and you were trying to guess, man, how in the hell would you even try to guess something in Elkins, West Virginia? Good luck with that, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna
and it
signing a deal with Canaan.
Yeah, right.
Canaan,
what could be exclusive to Elkins?
Right.
Possibly be
the train.
Senators, Davis and Elkins getting that. We're paying out NIL deals at D&E.
There we go.
You're not going to be seeing me on this episode on YouTube because Soup took our camera to Evansville and got some footage there. I'm still waiting to get that back and get that back in here.
I thought he said he was sending it back.
Yeah, it's here, but it's with somebody else, so I'm gonna have to go get that tomorrow and get that back into my own hands. But we, if you're not aware, and I don't think we've actually announced it since we've been on here, but we have a live stream on our radio show. You can watch it every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Mondays from 2 to 3, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12 to 3. And you can watch us on YouTube live. You can see us in the studio hanging out. You can chat in a live chat. All you got to do is make a YouTube or sign in with your Google account or whatever account you have. And you can sign in and talk to us during the radio show if you're just bored or at work or something and want to talk to us or see us in action. You can go and do that on YouTube. But as far as that goes, there's really nothing else to cover as far as the radio show, or other than the radio show, which is taking up a lot of our time.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah,
That's it.
that
God,
Just a radio show.
I don't know how you guys did it. It whipped my ass, and I was only on for a few hours last week. But yeah, it's tough to get adjusted to this. I will say it's draining being
These are
on
long
there.
days.
The long day is rough. The long day.
Well, and you got to pay attention like a lot. Like
Yeah,
it's
my brain
it's
is-
tough.
My brain's about
Tuesdays
mush
are
right now.
tough.
It's easy for me to say because obviously I can't do the radio, but I would imagine it's just like everything else. You got to be up for 3 hours. Like,
Yeah.
You do. And
like,
when you're doing him, and then if you got to be the host, which I sometimes do, or majority of the time, you got to be watching his cues. You got to be, and, if you want to. And I'm trying to get better at it, so I'm trying to improve and sound professional. And he's great. I mean, Joe makes it easy on me, but it's still a lot to pay attention to. You got to be checking the clock. You got to be, it's just
a mental game.
I'm not
It really
used
is.
to it doing it, so
Well,
it's shock to the system.
And then with the broadcast of the games, we had live interviews and we had pre-recorded interviews.
Right.
So he had to get those all programmed to flow.
That did make it easier though on Saturday. I will
Yeah, it
say
did,
that
because we got a little break.
because I got I could turn my brain off for 10 minutes because
Yeah.
I'd already used it yesterday to do the interview.
And I
so
will
that
give
helps.
kudos to Jubb and to Matt because they organized things so well. And when we took over this, Jeff, and I told you that we wanted to be the best show on the radio. And I think
gonna keep trying.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're there yet because Howard and Bobby are very good. They've been doing it a long time.
I wouldn't
And-
expect us to be there yet. I hope.
Yeah, but I think in the long run, once we make all the tweaks that we need to and get all the pieces in the right place, I think we'll be. And I think our following will get better too. I really do, and that's one of our goals.
Our interaction's growing. We had
not
new
only,
callers
not
today.
only for us, but for Kayleen and the radio station to just get more popularity and reach out to and different genres, different ages, get not just the older people that watch us, but or listen to us, but some younger people, some like these guys' friends, your
the
friends.
ones that know how to turn the radio on in the car.
Yeah. So
and they're streaming it on your phone's easy. I mean,
yeah,
I got
but I
people
think
listening.
I think the overall, honestly, the our presentation of the pregame shows, I thought was really, really good.
From what
and
I heard,
I've
yes.
gotten a lot of compliments on it. Could have we been better? Maybe in certain aspects, we could have been. But I thought the mixture of our interviews plus our knowledge of the teams and what
we had passion. I mean, we were emotionally tied to it
Right.
in some way. All of us
without
were.
a doubt.
And it was I thought it was really well done, professionally done, and I hope that we get a chance to do something like that again.
I think it helps us too because it's genuine for us.
Yeah.
It was easy to talk about those
Right.
things, those old stories, the people we know, the talks with Dr. McCullough, and just we know everybody involved in that. So that made it special for us.
I think one of the other things about the interviews that I really liked and I thought it was a feather in our cap is we didn't necessarily talk strictly about basketball or the game. We lightened it up with some fun questions, some personal questions, trying to because everybody asks the same thing, the same questions.
Yeah.
What do you think of this team? What do you how you prepare? So we did it. We mixed in a little bit of humor and fun, and I thought that, and I think they appreciate that.
Yes.
Your interviewees.
It's a natural flow. It feels like
they
a
don't
real
want the
conversation.
mundane shit.
Jesus, the same question.
Nobody wants to hear X's and O's.
I
for
listened to
3
interviews
hours.
with Crutch. It's the same questions over and over, and because I liked when we talked about Chris and I having the cookout the first time.
Yeah.
Then if I was on, I'd ask him how many Corona lights he's had since winning it, or different things that I thought you guys and we all did a really good job. And my hat's off to our group. I hate to brag, but I thought we did a nice job.
Yeah, I didn't do much as far as like the conversation
He said
goes.
I didn't
My sports knowledge is not. It's just like the level of a crayon. So I'm like, I'm kind of useless in that aspect. So I'm like the what would I be? I'm like the center. I feed it to you, and then you.
You're
take
like
it.
the ruckman in AFL Australian rules football.
Listen, Job, if we were all sports oriented, it wouldn't
No, it's good.
work.
Job, I love
it wouldn't work.
stepping outside the sports realm.
If
That's
we
why I
were-
enjoy those today we taped a show we did a live show today. We're taping a show now.
We technically taped it, yeah.
But we did. I mean, it's fun to talk about world events, history, all that stuff, just to bounce around a little bit, And again, hopefully, we bring everybody into a part of the show that they like. That's their favorite part of the show. We have maybe there's 5 different things that we do, and everybody's got a different favorite, but it's fun.
Yeah, it really went well, and well, hopefully, I'd like to do another something like that with I don't know, with the Base World Series or
Soup's got us going down for the Mountaineers spring game probably.
Yeah,
I don't know how good I'm going to be on that one. I don't know any players. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, well, we might have to start doing some homework. So, but I'm thinking,
hey, football's right around the corner, right?
Boy, that's the truth.
Yeah, woohoo!
Down the road we might get into something like the World Series or the NBA,
NASCAR,
or NASCAR, whatever. I don't know. So I think that was, as you said, it was a good warm up for us for things down the road, and I think it was a win-win for everybody.
Oh, without a doubt.
Appreciate Jeff's effort in getting us, involved in that too, and everybody. So I thought Jarrett did a really good job. Also, Chris was on Saturday, and
I think you guys are all blessed from a standpoint of having that natural aspect when it comes to this line of work. Let's be honest.
And none of us ever did it.
That's
work.
what I was saying, because I do.
Well, I mean, he does PA announcing, and I've done little shit from time to time, but not like this.
But I think you guys are all blessed from a standpoint. You guys came out of the womb with that personality and that demeanor. So it's really, it does sound natural because you guys do have that natural ability. And then obviously it's just about kind of honing it up and stuff like that, which you guys are already doing. So it's very impressive, fellas. It really is.
I want to make this is totally off topic. But
making everybody fucking puke right now, though.
But yeah, I'm trying to. We got new kind of technology in the office because we have a computer now, and we're running. And we used to have a recorder, and the recorder was a little box that all the audio went to, and then I would take the audio from the box and then put it in the computer, and then it's just an extra step for me to have to edit and then bring things onto the computer. So what we have now is all the microphones are linked. This is all technical jargon, which no one really needs to know. I'm just explaining why the audio might sound weird here in the first half. Because I'm trying to, the mics are going straight to the computer now, and I'm trying to figure out how loud everybody needs to be. So you might hear, I usually EQ them after them, so it's all flat and you're not going to tell. But some guys might be a little louder than others at the beginning here, so just keep that in mind. I'm not, you're not going crazy.
See, Job, when we're talking about sports and you're totally lost. That's exactly where I was when you were talking about that right now. You may as well said blah 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 blah.
I'm a Peanuts, the teacher on the
Matt's
Charlie
the only
Brown.
one. Unless I'm mistaken, Matt's the only one that vaguely,
I had
vaguely
a pretty good idea.
Had an understanding because Jeff and I could have sat here and
I can act like I know what the hell I'm talking about. That's about it.
But see, that's the beauty of it. Your strength is right there on those kind of things.
Diversity.
And we if you want Jeff or I to plug something in, I think we have that capability. But beyond that,
slim and none. That's about it. That's about it.
I'm trying to figure this out while we're going here, while the camera's not on me. So just keep that in mind.
Well, and one last thing, and then we'll move on to something else that I want to say about the pregame shows and the stuff we did with the Elite Eight. And what we've accomplished since we've been here, it's neat to see actually what's going on down here in the station too. Like the energy level has gone up like massively from the first time we came here and looked at this office, and went like they're going to redo all of the entire wiring in the place, the whole thing. They're going to redesign all the studios, the WVLY, the KKX studio, the outside coming in, everything is going to be redesigned. And I'm not saying 100% we were the catalyst there, but I would say that if we weren't, it probably would stay.
Strange coincidence.
Stay the same. So
yeah, to piggyback off that, I don't know. I'm not going to say it's us at all because I don't want to be that guy. But I really, from the moment we came in here down and looked at this office when it was just like storage for whatever, it definitely feels like from that time there to now, it feels like we're kind of in the mix now. Like this feels this whole thing feels like it's kind of
2 points: loyalty and Christmas Party 365.
There you go.
Pretty simple.
Didn't hurt our chances.
Pretty simple.
But the other thing about that is that there's a balancing act you have to do. You don't want to come in and like take over the whole place like we're the cock of the walk and get out of our way. So you have to balance it to make them know we appreciate them.
100%.
To right,
'Cause we do.
to a huge extent.
We are
because-
certainly not the cock of the walk.
I know, and
by any means.
And I think
We're just trying to learn how to walk.
and
To be
they all,
honest.
and they all know that. I
With
mean,
our
Lola,
cock.
Lola loves
Yeah.
us. I bring Lola beer, and
That
you know,
goes right to her heart.
Bring her
Coach.
food, and
Definitely.
you know we take such good care of her, and she just likes us being here now because before it was not
It'd be somewhat lonely a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yes,
Yeah.
well, 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
and
say.
we're here basically all the time now, so it
gonna
gives
say,
her.
This is like my job now. I come in and say hello to everybody, and it's like
Hey, watchdog.
yeah,
Homestead.
But-
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. We're planning on shooting a commercial for the Watchdog.
At least a couple.
Here's what I realized, that the revival of something that is on the, because we're not going to pretend that radio's like on the way up, because it's not. It's just not.
Fair
so
ball.
trying to pull that anchor up from the depths is hard to do. It feels like we're making a little bit of a dent. It feels like we're making a little headway, but it takes a lot more than coming in here and go, oh, okay, we're gonna have a great show and then blah blah blah. So we're trying to do some more fun stuff to get like the live stream on the YouTube, the different stuff like that. The sports show was a huge that felt good to be a. But we're trying to do fun stuff. We found in the vault, this is an old bank. The building was an old bank, and the vaults are used as storage. And when Coach and Jarrett were cleaning out, they found the old Watchdog mascot. And
Costume.
Yeah, well, it's a mascot. I mean, it's the Watchdog.
But I mean, it's a costume.
Yeah,
we didn't actually find a mascot.
Found a guy inside of it.
A skeleton.
You're
going
to be the mascot.
Yeah,
Dead dog in the goddamn
the mascot costume. Yeah, but
He's mummified.
We found it back there, and apparently back in the day, which is just some news to us. Chris is arriving in the building.
Hello, Chris.
But apparently back in the day, this station was popping. Like they came on the scene right when the flood of 04 happened. No, flood of 04.
I think that's right.
Was it 04? Because I was
the Hurricane Katrina flood.
yeah, because I was
Yeah.
in kindergarten.
I
So
was, yeah.
right when that flood happened, they kind of came right on the scene, and that was kind of their launching pad into the public sphere. And they gained some notoriety because of that whole deal. And apparently they would have guys dressed up as Santas and elves down here collecting toys for tots, and they had him going to basketball games and all kinds of stuff. So if we can bring it back to that level, that would make me. And I think actually back in the day, it got names. Name I won't say because it's kind of like the vampire name down here would have
Taboo.
have strippers come on to the show, onto the radio show, and talk
remember this
about
vividly.
talk about their livelihood and what was
100%.
going on with
It
them.
was a great conversation. It truly
Which
was.
I honestly think, as crazy as that is really cool to get an insight into that kind of livelihood. Which is it great radio? Maybe. But I think it has. Anyway, my point is, we're trying to bring that kind of that energy back because we found that mascot costume. And we're going to record some commercials. And for those of you that didn't see our Belmont Savings Bank commercial, it's going to be along the lines of that, like funny, where we're not taking ourselves too serious. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be about, what's going to be in it, but just know that I will be in a Watchdog
I think it's going to be
costume.
hilarious.
Hi, Chris. How you
Hello,
doing?
Chris.
Mr. Pavlik.
If you can't hear yourself, I'll fix your headphones after the
I'm
break.
perfect.
Okay.
Chris is
awesome.
perfect.
Sounds good.
But I actually remember that vividly. Back in the day when they bring somebody down, a lady from Jill's or whatever. And it's
A fine
But it was
woman.
great because obviously you had to stay clean because you were on the radio.
Well, and
but you could still do the, I guess, the innuendos. You could still talk. You could
absolutely.
dance. You could dance.
And
a
I
little bit.
think Jill's was like their main like
Sponsor.
sponsor for.
We need to get them for the golf scramble. So
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You mentioned that before.
Yeah.
I
that'd be a good
guarantee we
idea.
can make that happen.
And the cool thing about that is you don't have to be like smutty with them. I mean, you can just have a conversation about what it is they do, and I think that would be a cool.
Actually,
thing.
the big thing they would do is they would bring the headliners down. So
Oh.
whoever the headliner was
yeah.
for the weekend,
The
they would
star
bring the
coming to
headliner
town.
Yes, to big
Howard
star.
Stern made billions off that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Listen,
so.
and Howard Stern like having guys like Beetlejuice.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
And that.
Freaks.
Now, did he
Yeah.
take it a
The
little
whack-
too far?
Oh well, I
with those
mean,
guys?
he maxed out. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why he's
he
now his show stinks.
Oh,
it's
it's terrible. We'd be
Is it
better.
bad?
We're
Is it
better
bad?
than him already. He's so politically correct
Yeah.
and boring.
Oh.
His wife made him turn into it.
He keeps up with all the Hollywood.
Yeah,
elites, so
he's
caters to them.
but you know what? He got that 10-year deal worth $1 billion.
Didn't
Why
matter.
doesn't
That
care? Yeah, I
doesn't
mean,
matter now.
yeah.
Well, who are we going to put in charge of arranging for the Godfather girls?
Well, there's only one guy that can inspect them. I think would be Champ.
Well, yeah,
I think,
but he'll be-
I think Jeff will do the legwork.
Well, yeah. Who'll do that? Like the meaningless.
No,
work
she
like
ain't
that.
gonna make the cut.
The-
Her tits are too small.
The
He'll
big
say.
work.
Is that the only
turn around there
criteria for George?
I mean, what do you think?
Model number 2, please turn around.
Do you think that kind of job line totally is total? You're totally required to be in relatively good health, or is that like
I would
take who
hope
you
so.
can get?
I would hope you'd at least be.
Well,
I'd probably say the location
Sanitary.
matters. Like if you're in Pittsburgh compared to the island, it might be a little.
It's a big
bit of
difference.
well, I
It's a
tell you
big
what, if
difference.
it has anything to do with the ring girls at Tough Man,
Oh, boy.
no, you didn't need to be in good health because they were.
Was there really a pregnant one?
Yes, yes, I know that
and
for
one
sure.
without teeth,
Well,
and that's
That's
never
awesome. That's
Actually, probably one of my
Really?
favorite strip club stories of all time was hands down walking into the My Club and in the cage was a pregnant lady.
I think
Super cool.
She wasn't drinking a beer, was she?
Super cool. Snowy night, just trying to make some money.
Oh,
From
is
it.
that you remember that name?
No, it was a snowy night.
Oh, I thought that was her name.
That's actually very
Snowy
very
Night.
appropriate. Yeah,
Snowy Night.
I bet that child had a lovely
100%.
growing up.
I bet you in some of the classier places, like if you would go to New York or something, or like maybe Miami, where there's
Oh,
like
yeah.
high class
Yeah.
clubs like that, I bet they make a good living.
Oh, they make a really good
Because
living.
you think about the creeps that come in there that all they want to
They
do is
make a
spend money.
really good living.
Yes, without a doubt.
But it only lasts for a while
Yeah.
till you start to lose it,
And
and
you
it's
gotta-
over.
you gotta cash
Better
out
cash
quick.
in while
Yeah.
you can, then you got to go into smut porn. That's all you got.
And let's be honest, it's not just dancing money they're receiving either.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I bet you they know how to
Ad money, right?
Ad money, 100%.
Commercial.
They're just selling themselves in an
NIL,
indirect way.
NIL, name, image, likeness.
I bet you, as far as being business savvy, I bet you some of the ones, like I said, in the bigger strip clubs like Miami and New York, I bet you they are great saleswomen, like saleswomen.
Job,
100%.
classiest women
Because-
you'd ever imagine. Internationals.
Because if you know
impressive
some,
stuff.
if you know some creepo's going to spend money on you just to see you dance or like just touch you,
And they're
I
well
bet
protected.
you could just, especially the nice ones, if they got security guards,
Oh.
they could just.
It's like Chris's boy Jesse James without a gun. You're getting robbed right there. They're just giving the money up.
We went to one in Key West, and we didn't really. It wasn't our goal to go to it. We was just on the strip, and to get to like a part of you had to go through the strip club.
Really?
And and it was actually really neat how it was laid out. And you go through there, and it's like a feeding friend. They'll like swipe by you and like grab you by the arm and say, "Hey, come on!" And you gotta legitimately say, "Hey, no, this is not
They
happening."
start trying to look at you and say, which guy's got the most money?
Yeah,
exactly what
yeah,
it is.
and they'll snag you. They will snag you up. And I beelined, like I acted like I didn't speak English and got out of there.
Parlez-vous, Francois?
Why do they kind of harass you?
Not
Yeah,
harassed.
they're like
but
soliciting,
yeah.
basically.
They'll come out. They'll come on. Let's go.
Come
let's
on,
go,
time
come
for
on.
your dance.
Go, yeah, come on, let's go. And you'll see guys walking around
Wait.
with a wad of like.
You know what? It'd be nice to get one on and just talk to her about how much money she made, some of her good and bad experiences. I think that'd be cool as shit.
I think it'd be funny.
I
too.
think we
bet
could
you
do
there's
that.
some-
I think we could do that.
Hands down, I guarantee we can make that happen.
A lot of them have good other jobs,
Jeff,
too.
you
There's
sound like
people
you
that
got a
just
little
moonlight.
underground connection somewhere.
We'll discuss off there.
Also, something that I think was incredible. We went to one in Pittsburgh. I can't remember what it was called. It was like it was pretty small. but
Spearmint
it was-
Rhino?
No.
The one
Cheerleaders?
The one that used to always advertise
Club
on our
Erotica?
paper. That's
Club
it.
That's
Erotica?
it.
That's
That's
it.
it.
Right
Yeah, I've
there.
been there years ago.
So we went in
Champ
there,
has been there.
and we had just spent like
It's a nice club.
I had spent maybe $50, $45 to get in, or not to get in, but in a bar previously, just getting drinks, and then to get in, the cover was like $15 to get into the bar. So I spent maybe $70 just at that one bar, and then we went to this club. It was $20 to get in, all you can drink. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, all you can drink, and you could just go up, ask for whatever you want, liquor, beer, whatever you want for $20.
Yeah, included in the cover.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which I said, why did we not just go here straight away?
Well, then the girls couldn't have been that good then.
They were.
No,
Were they
that's
really?
a good place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
okay.
yes. It was actually it was a high class, not high class, but I mean,
No,
it was
it's
for
a good-
what it is.
it's good for
it
this
was like-
area.
Yeah,
Went
it
to
was
one in Morgantown in college that you could take your own cooler in.
Oh,
Really?
boy. Jesus.
Oh boy.
They charge you a little bit more of a cover
Like
charge to get
NASCAR.
through, but then you take
you
your
had
own
to
cooler.
bring you had to bring like a fold out like a lawn chair.
Yeah,
Like-
actually, it's funny you say that. They had nothing but couches that
Oh,
surrounded the stage. Yeah.
sticky leather.
Oh,
Couldn't
yummy.
get up.
like a fly trap.
Somebody help a brother out, please.
I would not want to be the janitor.
But
in
are
that
they?
place.
Are you expected then? You think that do they expect you to spend money on the
Definitely.
girls? Obviously, I mean, if they're going to charge you 15
I
or
didn't
20
spend a
bucks,
dime. I just sat there and drank like rum and coke for an hour and a half. I didn't spend a dime. I guarantee they get mad at you though.
Oh, for sure they do.
Yeah,
I would
yeah. You
say.
got to at least make it look like you're trying to give us some money.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
They
if you're
kick
going
you
to
out, they
Pittsburgh,
kick you out.
don't waste your money on bars. Just go to the club and
20
Yeah,
bones.
it's a better deal.
20 bones.
20 bones.
Probably to take a break, John.
Yeah,
We're-
I was just gonna say we'll take a break here. It's only 6:00, boy. We're gonna hit a break. Go take a pee. Go get refreshed, and we'll be right back. You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast, but you don't just have to listen to the podcast. We have some other stuff out there, too, like Bettor's Last Stand, our sports betting show covering all things sports and betting, or Soup and Stuff, where Soup sits down with business owners, athletes, and other professionals for good conversation. Or, if you want to listen to us live, you can tune into The Watchdog, FM 98.1 or AM 1600. Or you can listen live online at thewatchdognetwork.com. You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast. All right, we're going to hit some of these news and notes here. A lot of stuff on the list. I don't know what we want to highlight, but I know we want to. I know we want to mention the Nashville school shooter. Unfortunately, we have this stuff happening. I think it's I guess it's not important for us to mention, but we can't play dumb to it, and we can't act like it didn't happen. So we'll hit it, and you know, I know you guys have some thoughts on it. So
yeah,
I leave the floor to you guys.
I do. I was listening to Hoppy Kercheval today, and Hoppy actually wasn't on. I think his name's Dave Wilson. Said it was, man. Dave, but he said exactly what I think. This isn't a gun problem; it's a people problem.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And I don't know how you guys feel about that.
100%.
It's not a gun problem.
No, it's not a
This
gun
girl
problem.
had bought 7 guns legally. She bought them legally. So what is gun laws going to do to stop her from doing that? I mean, like you said, if she bought all 7 guns at one place, but she didn't.
Right.
She went around and bought them at a different place. So what's gun laws? I'm not saying don't try to make gun laws a little stricter, which I don't have any idea what that means, background checks or whatever. These fucking people are nuts. They're just crazy. You're not going to stop it. If not, then she'll get a machete and find
Or
a
she'll
way
just get him illegally.
Right?
How-
They think
how old was-
if they put a gun law in place, that criminals are going to say, "Well, I can't." Get
How many
the
of the
gun
registered
'cause it's
firearms
illegal."
in Chicago that
Right.
keep kids, and
Right.
little girls every single
that's
day?
not the-
How many of them are registered? About
and
zero.
then these ladies get up and whether it's mothers or not, God, I feel it's just horrible to even think about. But
it's
when they
disgusting.
scream, "We can't let this happen anymore," well, tell us how would you stop it? And you can say better background checks, stricter gun laws. That's such bullshit. It's not going to work.
If you look at the across the United States, the cities and the states with the most stringent gun laws are the cities in the
you
states.
Said that before.
Chicago, D.C., Northern Virginia, all those.
It's the worst places that actually stand right now. So I agree, Marcus. I couldn't have said any better. I think it's hands down a people problem.
It's a people problem.
But the thing about it, and I know we talk about it all the time on this show, and I know it's very extreme, and I get it, it's extreme, and it's never going to happen because we live in such a pussy society. But once again, you don't kill those people on the spot. You take them out back. You let people do what they need to do to them. You put it on paper.
Right.
And I guarantee people watch that
Make
and they
examples.
go, make examples out of them. I mean, it's
the only way to stop
It's the only way. And like we talked about in that third world country where I showed you guys where they took the weed whacker to that dude.
Right.
He stole something. They literally hung him by his hands and took a weed whacker to him. I guarantee that dude won't do it again.
Right,
do it again.
The punishments in these other societies, which we don't want to live under those,
No.
but our people, it's just like in MLB we were talking about rule changes. The batters force this upon themselves because they take forever to get in the batter's box. Well, these criminals have forced this upon us. We don't have a choice. You got to start to make examples of people. And although we don't want to live under the laws where if you're a thief, they cut your hand off, but maybe we should start doing that for a little bit. I mean, again, you don't want to take people's liberties away, but they can't be trusted with them. And you're now putting people in jeopardy every single day by your stupid behavior. And these government people aren't going to solve any of this problem. Because they're trying to placate the people they want votes.
Absolutely.
They're not worried about that. But I'm telling you, you guys are right, and you just said it. If you start making examples of these people, you commit a murder in the city with a firearm, or if you're whatever it is, if it's illegally or a registered firearm, you're going to the gallows. You're going public execution, or they're going to do something to you in front of people, and maybe it'll start saying, "Man, I better watch what I'm doing here."
You ever see Law-Abiding Citizen?
Yeah, exactly.
And they and what's his name takes that dude in his basement. Now that's a little extreme, to be honest with you. But
he starts sawing him up.
He walked in and killed his
wife and daughter.
And so that dude got exactly what he deserved.
Exactly what he deserved.
Exactly what he deserved. And if they'd let the parents of some of these take this to the killer and in a locked room and let him do what they need to do.
Yeah,
it'd stop some of this shit.
It would.
It's just gun control. People screaming, how much longer are you going to let this happen? Well, what are they going to do?
I just love to see if they even tried to do that. It wouldn't work. These criminals are getting guns illegally from other countries. They're criminals. They're not going to just change. They're going to just change their method of execution, of killing people.
Well, here's my thought. If I just happen to be a depressed person, and you guys know, and all of a sudden I just I've had enough of life. Things are, and I decide I'm going to go take it out on somebody down at the vets.
Right.
And I'm going to go get a gun, and I'm going to walk in and shoot. Yeah. What are they going to do to stop? How are they going to stop me?
And how is it the gun's fault, or people that own guns?
How are they going to stop me? It's not. And it's not all people that have a bad background to do this.
No.
What do you guys think about from a standpoint of gun control? Do you think that we necessarily need like all these semi-automatic weapons and stuff like that? Do you think we're a little extreme when it comes to the gun?
Definitely. I would say that.
I think at the end of the day, I think that Jeff Doyle should be able to go buy a military rifle?
No. You don't need it.
I don't need that. But do I think that we need to take away just normal guns? No. But do I think that's a little extreme? I do. I don't think I should be able to buy that shit.
I can see that side, but also it worries me. We have no idea what our world could turn into any day.
Right. You're not
so
wrong.
having military-style assault rifles, maybe that's the way we survive at some point. I hate to say that.
You're not wrong.
So I'm not, but I
wrong.
see that. I can see why people get frustrated with that because you can kill people in mass amounts.
Right.
But still, it's the mental part of this that is the issue.
What about the dude that drives his car into a crowd of people?
Exactly. Mows down people in Paris.
Mows down 20
that's
people.
a people person too. That's a people issue.
He didn't need a gun.
It's a people.
Yes.
A guy walks up and stabs those
Boston
people.
bombers. They use pressure cookers and like turkey fryers to explode and blow people's limbs off.
Well, I don't want to change the subject because I want to stay on this subject, but it's kind of like one of these bullet points that's been on here for a couple weeks now, Matt, is the one that says I'm so sorry. It's the guy that wanted to take his person on a date but was going to kill her just for fun.
Yeah.
So once again, that's a people person.
Yeah,
that's
and
a
North
people
Carolina
problem.
man accused of wanting to kill his date for the thrill.
Just for the thrill. So those types of people, in all honesty, we're not going to fix.
No.
They can lay down on a couch all the fucking they want and talk to whoever they want. We're not going to fix them. So really, and I know I've said this before, and I know it's not the most favorable, we need to eliminate the weak.
Yeah,
we
I
do.
agree.
I'll be honest. I know that's extreme too, and
It's
I
all
get
right.
it.
It's all
But
right.
but it
It's
is
the truth.
We got to limit, or the fact of the matter. And I know diversity is a great thing. Let's be honest. Diversity is a great thing. But we're getting back to the point of where we need to be around more like-minded people because we're going so extreme on thought processes and the way we do business. I'll be honest with you, like I want to be around people that are like-minded. I know that can become monotonous, and I know that can maybe be a little bit boring. But at the end of the day, this type of shit ain't Jeff Doyle.
No.
I don't want that.
No.
And I'll be honest with you, the other thing, and I'm not going to go down this path, but Fox News came on today and said that they that community of people came out and said, and this is the part that's really gross to me, came out and said there is no other effective way for this person to be seen or heard. They had to do this. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Well, if we're at that point,
Yeah.
Wait a second.
There-
What was that?
That community of people came out, the extreme community said, hey, there was no other effective
I
way
knew
to
that
be
was-
seen or heard. They had to do something like that. So
it's just awful.
Oh my God! Now that's
Now, did the community say it, or was that girl saying that?
the community of those people at the extreme side of them said they had to do it.
I had a feeling that was going to happen. I even said something to Chris about that. They would say that it was, well, it wasn't right, but it was kind of justified because, you know, she or he or whatever. Sorry,
Unbelievable.
but they didn't have any place else to go. Yeah, I'm sorry. That to me just ruins your cause completely.
Absolutely.
And you know, another thing that irritates the hell out of me, not just with it, but you've seen different cases where, and a lot of it would fall on the district attorneys and the judges that let these guys off, put these animals
Exactly.
back out on the street.
Enough of the prison reform stuff.
And-
Keep them
and-
in bars.
and-
I don't care if their living conditions are terrible. They deserve
Right,
it. They
right.
committed the crime to get there.
And so you see someone, I don't know if you guys saw that video a couple weeks ago, that guy and girl were beating the shit out of a guy in the street because they were fighting over a parking
Yes,
spot.
yeah, parking
That was
spot.
horrifying. That guy's kicking him in the head. The girl's whacking him with a ball bat, and I don't know if he died, but he's got severe brain.
No, those people should be in
But
prison
that
for 20
guy,
years at
that
least.
guy had 4 different offenses that involved violence.
Yeah. He
And it's
shouldn't have been
he
out.
should not be out. And why don't these judges not get held to a higher standard? Like, what if somebody, and I'm not hoping this, but I just wonder how they'd feel if that same guy beats the fuck out of that judge's
It
daughter.
never seems to work like that,
No,
though.
it doesn't.
We always say that, or logical people say
Yeah.
that, and it never happens.
No.
because
It's
they're
just-
sheltered from
it
it.
is
They
so-
always get away
so
with
maddening,
it.
so
Honestly,
maddening.
if you're a judge and you let a criminal back out on the street because you gave him a slap on the wrist and they commit a crime again, you ought to lose your seat on the
Sure you
bench.
should.
Okay.
Or something should happen to you.
And,
But again, they're like referees. They're like umpires. They can do whatever they want.
Right.
And
And
honestly, to some degree, police as well. And again, I'm not
I-
picking on all of the people in those groups I just named, but there's bad ones that do things that make it worse for everybody.
This bullet point's been on here for weeks now. That Zach Stacy, the running back,
Right.
Yeah, I saw that.
I tell you what,
was unbelievable.
Gross.
And
That was
he's-
unbelievable.
that guy's- but he got 6 months for
6
that.
months.
That's
6
unbelievable.
fucking months.
Ridiculous.
He's probably 6'2", 240, and he's throwing her around like a rag
I mean,
doll.
against the wall,
Yes.
around the room.
That's life in
Furniture's
prison right there.
flying.
Well, actually, twofold.
Yes.
So not only are you just first and foremost to lay your
That's
hands on a
hard to
woman, I don't
watch.
care how it is hard to watch. And the other problem is, I think it should be multiplied by whatever. It's in front of a fucking kid.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
You're
Right.
doing that in front of a kid. You know what? I don't care.
So
who
you're
you
setting
are.
the tone for his life.
Exactly.
What he
I mean,
thinks about a woman,
that's
respect for a woman.
unbelievable. Now,
He's going to
granted-
start roughing him up too.
I don't think any woman should be able to lay their hands on a man either.
No,
That's
no,
not what I'm
agreed.
getting at. But that was a beat down. That
Oh,
was
man.
absolutely
Yeah, it was
absurd.
And there's a difference
Incredible.
between trying to subdue somebody.
Yeah,
and
it's a
then
big difference.
Just wailing on them when you outweigh them by 150 pounds and you're an athlete.
That's unbelievable. And Chris, actually, back to your point when you talked about those people in the street and doing what they're doing. The crazy part about it to me, they're doing it in broad. There is zero fear.
they don't care.
Zero fear. The
Right.
fact
Because
that-
they know they're going to get
know-
a slap on the wrist.
That's exactly right. So they're literally beating that dude to a pulp. So here's my next question to you guys. With everything that we see now in social media and on the internet and stuff like that, if you're walking on the street as a lame person, the right thing to do, obviously, is try to fucking stop that shit. But nowadays,
Oh, no.
I don't know if you're doing that.
No,
I don't know
I
if you're
thought
doing
about
that.
Jeff.
I mean, and that's horrible. That's actually pussy on all of us, the fact of the matter. But at the end of the day, I still want to go home to my family.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but at the end of the day, you're going to, I mean, it's going to be a hard contemplation when you're walking by if you're going to try to stop something like that, right?
Yes.
Like, what if you're at Generations watching that West Liberty game on Saturday and some idiot comes in there and tries to kill somebody and you got a gun on you? Like, you have a registered firearm that you're carrying, and you are a hero. You save, like, a lot of lives, but then you're then facing people's persecution that you took a life, and then you're on the hook for it. I mean, it is. It makes you not want to be a good Samaritan, and then if you're unarmed, like, you can't get involved. Mm-hmm. You're liable to die yourself, and it's terrible. You know how many times where you've seen somebody even as much as broke down on the side of the road or something, and you're like, man, I really should stop and help this person. But you could end up dead. It could be a ploy. They could be setting you up. They could beat you to death and rob you. And it's terrible that we've come to that where you have to defend for yourself in a way where your mechanisms say, I should help this person. But I'm so afraid of what might happen. I know you're right. It's like a pussy way out, but I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
So my question to you guys, and actually I want to ask you, Jubber, and I know you're the young buck out of the bunch. What has changed? What has truly changed over the years that where this is socially acceptable now? The fact of the matter, everything you just got done saying, Matt, the fact of the matter, you got to worry about what people are going to think of you, or if you're going to be the guy that goes to prison because
wrongful death. Yeah.
Whatever the case might be. But what has changed over the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years? We didn't hear about this shit. Now, granted, I know internet has publicized shit more, but I just can't believe that this type of volume of stuff was taking place 50 years ago. So my question that I'm kind of bring it to the group is truly what has changed in our country that this is just like on every fucking corner now.
I want to hear him jump first, but I have an opinion on this too,
I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
I know I'm putting you on the spot, and I'm sorry for that. And if you don't have an answer, that's fine.
I think probably I think social media and the age of access.
Bam, exactly.
Oh, sure.
Well, and as far and the reason I'm saying that is because I think maybe. Well, here I'm going to ask you why you say social media because
I think that kids now are so worried about what other people think. I feel like, and I do think there's kids in tough positions where they're on social media and they've been just bullied or just trampled on, and they're now thinking that they have to be something that they're not. I just think social media magnifies every kid's problem in the world right now. If they have a depression issue, if they're not popular enough at school, if they're fat, if they're too skinny, I think it magnifies it, and I think it manifests so much anger and frustration in the kids, and they're not equipped to cope with it. I never had to deal with that. If we had issues at school, we came home, we dealt with it with our parents. If we were the aggressor or we were the one getting made fun, whatever. Fortunately, most of us probably didn't have that problem a lot, but you always get running with the wrong group of people in your life at some point where maybe you are getting into trouble that you weren't used to getting into, but you didn't have it magnified where everybody knew your business. It was handled internally, it was handled at your school, handled by your parents. I just feel like kids in unsupervised use of social media, it just magnifies their problems so much where the pressures, and I don't know what it's like to deal with that. But I do think that burden falls on the parents, especially before they're leaving for college or whatever, to just protect those kids from that. And I think social media makes things like beating someone up in the street look cool.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not cool.
Oh, and how many kids like that get bullied online and they take their life?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's overwhelming. And it's sickening.
Social media should be responsible for a lot of the suicides, and they honestly should be liable. And I know that's a non view of liberty in the United States. That's not possible, but it sure seems like that. Coach, you taught school for a long time. I'm sure you thought that social media maybe was a good thing at first, but as you saw it in front of your eyes unfold,
ruination.
I mean, it just changes kids' lives. And Job, you guys grew up in an era where social media was just starting to get big, so that's why I thought, in my opinion,
yeah, we were probably right in that transfer where it was like social media when I was probably in late middle school really became like what it is now, where it used to be MySpace or like where you'd be on it maybe, and even then it was everybody was concerned with how many followers you had on whatever. But I mean, I know that's like I was lucky to be raised to not try to be yourself and not worry about other people think you. But I mean, you see kids in high school now, it's all about your outer image. It's all about what image you put out on social media, and whether you've got the right haircut or the right shoes or the right.
So gross.
And I've never been that way. And even now, though, I still catch myself like thinking, I wish I was built this way. Or I wish I had this life or this and I don't want to sound like one of those people, but I think mainstream media is a very dangerous thing. I think that. They're promoting shows where, and I even I complain about it, even though I complain about it for the wrong reasons. Where MTV reality shows are all beautiful looking people that have beautiful lives and are all cut up and toned, and which I guess you shouldn't. And it's a kind of a double-edged sword where you shouldn't be weak enough to let that bother you in one point, but then. If that's all you take in, and that's you see people with these grandiose lives, and you hear about how Jimmy got this haircut or these shoes from his uncle, and how you might not have that ability to achieve that. You might have a little track phone where you can see all how great everybody's lives are. Lisa's taking a trip down to Miami, and I'm sitting here working at McDonald's. I mean, I think I think social media is a very dangerous thing. I think I think definitely if I'm ever lucky enough to have kids of my own, I would definitely wait to allow them, or at least tell them, explain to them that what you see on social media is not real life.
And you are right, because you guys grew up like right on the front cusp of that. Whereas, and you guys, you're like us. You're lucky enough. We all came from good family units. Mm-hmm. We had parents who cared. We had relatives who cared. They were involved in our life. And that helps a lot too. But I think that social media, and then if a kid is struggling at home, or he's got abusive parents, or his mom's a drunk, or whatever, his dad left them years ago, then that just compounds it. So you have all that pressure that you're trying to keep up with these kids at school and be popular, and then you already have something going on. Your home's not even safe. At least all of us could come home and we all felt safe in our lives. Yeah, there's never a time in my entire life where I didn't feel safe at home.
See, that's why I am more on the sympathetic edge of, like, I think definitely if you're a criminal and you commit an act, you should be punished beyond what is socially acceptable now. But I think that there are some people out there that just need help. That just they don't. I mean, they just weren't raised in a lucky family like all of us, and we didn't have appreciative friends where where you realize that me and Chris, our lives, like in a personal space, is nothing compared to your friend with somebody that you don't know on social media. Just because they look great on social media and have the nicest bikini on or the coolest outfit on.
You rocking a bikini?
Yeah. But it's like, but I think that kind of lifestyle, when your whole life is consumed by social media, real interaction, that when we can mess with each other, because it doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't matter on social media, or it doesn't matter in real life. On social media, it's all people live for. I mean, you see, I know this is a very young thing to see, but if you're on Snapchat, you can go on Snapchat and people will catalog their entire life. And even older folks on Facebook, they catalog everything they do on social media.
It's becoming an addiction.
Such a Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not. Thank God I'm not addicted to social media, because I don't have Twitter. I don't have Facebook. I have those accounts. I don't use them, but it's definitely a very, very dangerous place to be as a young kid.
We're an addictive society, no question about it, and everybody's got vices and things they do, and when you're subjecting kids that aren't ready, it'd be like you let teenagers go on social media at a young age. You don't let teenagers gamble at the age of 13. You don't let them handle weapons at the age of 13. You don't let them drink at the age of 13. Social media, to me, is just as dangerous as all those other things.
Might be more dangerous.
Yeah, I would go as far as saying that too, Coach.
Might be more dangerous.
I agree. But we don't even care, because they're making money, and you got these teenagers that are millionaires on TikTok, little girls dancing in their room.
So I'll give you an example here if I can try to find one. So on Snapchat, you can scroll all the way to the right side of the thing, and for whatever reason, they highlight these kids that they can't be older than me. They're like 16 to 19 years old, and they highlight these kids that have these lives that they have all the I'll see if I can, and they just have picture after picture after picture of their life. They're just cataloging what they're having to eat, what they're. I mean, look at this. If I wish I could show this on camera. This is somebody I don't know. This is what you can come on. Hold on, you can come on and see every single step of this dude's life.
Joe, do you think that person who did that are they like dependent on that to survive?
I think
seems
so.
like it.
I
Yeah.
think so. I mean, you see kids go out, and as soon as they go to dinner, the very first thing they do when they get their meal, take a picture.
I do that too.
Well,
But
I mean,
only
yeah,
when I go to it, but I don't put it anywhere.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
keep it for myself.
Exactly. If
Or
you
I
wanna-
send it to my dad or
Right.
somebody.
Exactly. But
Just because I appreciate good food.
a lot of people will put a picture on and go, "Hey, look what I'm having to eat."
Yeah,
Like,
no, see,
you're not having.
You
this
won't
to
know
eat.
about it.
Like they're posing for a picture down at the beach in Miami. Oh, look where I am right now. And I think a lot of people and a lot of young kids get so wrapped in that fantasy world of course, everything you see on social media is going to be glitzed and glammed up to look like, they have the greatest life ever, and that's usually not the
You
case.
mean nobody puts like a picture when they're eating like a McChicken?
Well, that's the thing. When I was in,
cheeseburgers after that's Mark takes
when I was in
pictures.
middle school, and we'll get ready to take a break here because I know we're going long, but
You still got 10 minutes.
oh, I do. Mm-hmm. Oh, gee. Okay, all right, never mind.
We didn't waste any time.
Yeah,
getting into
no,
this.
never mind. But back when I was in middle school, the only thing that I was worried about was making people laugh. That's
Right.
all I worried about was making people laugh. Was like if I could put a video out when social media just came out, if I could put a video out to make people laugh, that's all I cared about. And even in my own way, when I hit high school, there was something in my brain that switched where I was like, I'm a little self-conscious about putting out things to make people laugh. And I've kind of reversed back to where I used to be, where I don't really give two shits what people think of me. But there was a point in high school where I was like, I kind of got to be conscientious of how I dress, how people look
I think
at me.
everybody goes through that to an extent.
respect
And I think some people don't know how to handle that. And it goes to an extreme, like goes to a way extreme where it's like, I have to have this image, whether it's not my real self or not. But I think that can be extremely deteriorating on somebody.
And a lot of times we don't even know our real selves yet at that age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Well,
you
that's-
kind of feel it along, and you get guided by it if you're lucky enough to have good people.
And
around
I
you,
Those
think-
are
which
tough
we
years, though.
They are.
Tough
They're-
years.
yeah, absolutely.
And
And
it's challenging.
It is.
as-
And
It
that's
is
where
great.
I think, like,
a lot of pressure on kids.
especially with social media. I think in the year where those strong years where you're even just trying to figure out who the hell you are, if you got this portal to every single bit of information,
And you're being basically told you should be this way to be popular.
Exactly, and I think that's really, really, really dangerous than more
It is.
than what people think.
And the especially girls more than guys.
Yeah.
Even. Chris, can attest to this? They're like animals when they get in packs, like certain groups of girls, and pick on other
Ooh,
girls.
it can be nasty.
Well, you know from personal experience
Yeah.
that girls can be very nasty, and not necessarily physically nasty, but like you guys said,
Vicious.
on social media.
Yep.
Just berating and bullying girls, and then if they happen to get a hold of a picture of them and they post it, and they got everybody laughing about it,
Right.
it's
Can ruin kids' lives, and you
Oh,
hear
my
about terrible
Lord.
stories about it.
And I'm not saying guys are clean, but girls can be really, really vicious. I mean, really nasty.
Well, I think girls. Well, go ahead.
No,
Jeff.
no.
Well, I was just going to say, I think girls. I think it's been really, really pumped into social media and the mainstream media that girls have to be this way. It's the same way for men and for boys, but I think for girls especially, you got like Kim Kardashians of the world.
No, they
You
get their
got-
own shows. Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian
Exactly.
get shows on TV because they're good-looking girls who are rich and famous anyway.
and I think it
then the other extreme is
But
the,
why
is
are
the,
so
the
many people
glorification of the
interested in that?
pregnant girls
That's
too.
what amazes me.
On
Teen Mom.
Would
the
you
Teen
sit and
Mom.
watch the Kardashians?
Like that's
If she walked in here right now, I wouldn't know who she is. I know because I don't care.
well, that's
Teen
that's the
Mom
problem.
in
A
My
lot of
1,000-pound life or 600-pound life.
I do
that-
watch him sometimes.
that's a. I mean,
I watch
it's,
them
it's
because I know.
You're doing better.
You feel better about yourself.
Pat on the back.
I think a lot of this and everything you guys said is 100% true, but I still think at the end of the day, it's a lot of excuses and it's a lot of weakness.
well, and,
You're not wrong, Jeff.
and I don't disagree with you.
No,
I think,
you're wrong. You're not wrong.
but
You're-
here's the thing. I think, and this is not a knock to you.
No,
I
no.
think you everybody in this room except for me was brought up in an age where that wasn't presented to you. It's such an ease of access. Like
No.
you're
right.
Like if I lay down in bed and I look on my phone, I'm just berated by every image of anybody I could possibly look up and how great life out wherever could be.
You're right, Joe.
And I don't disagree that people, if you can be very fragile to that, and I think you should be able to have the mental fortitude to understand that you're in control of your own life and you have the path of whatever destiny you have. But I think that, like, I wouldn't know when I turn 40 or 50 or whatever, the technology and the social world of whatever my kids are going to grow up in is going to be totally different from what I grow up in. So, like, I could say to them, hey, don't worry about this picture that you see on blah, 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 but they could be getting some hologram from something. I feel
Brain
like
implants.
the world is just different. And I'm not saying you're wrong in saying that people are some people are very weak-minded, but then again, even now I can't say what a kid in elementary school is going through because I didn't have that access of information when I was in elementary school.
I think, and once again, everything you guys said is 100% on point, but this is the problem that I have with it. There's always going to be somebody that's a better sportsbook manager. There's always going to be a better salesman. There's always going to be a better teacher. There's always going to be a better administrator. You have to, it's not about, actually, it's funny. The wife and I talked about this the other night about competition. I'm not in competition with anybody but ourselves.
Right.
And we just talked about this the other day, like our W-2s. We just got our taxes done. When I get my W-2s at the end of the year and we see our grand total, guess what? I'm competing against myself next year because I want that number to be a little bit bigger than it was the year before. I don't give a fuck how much money you make.
And they're not concerned.
And they shouldn't be concerned on me. So I'm competing against myself.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, it's okay. There's always going to be somebody better than me.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you find that inside drive to go, okay, so you know what? I maybe want to drive a Lamborghini. Well, guess what? McDonald's isn't going to get me to the fucking Lamborghini. So I got to know that I need to get off my fucking ass and go work really, really hard or find an outlet to be able to do that. So I agree. And I think, unfortunately, right now is the drive. I think everybody sees it as being that, Mark Delbrook was handed everything. He didn't work for a fucking thing. He didn't go paint and work 2 fucking jobs to get what the fuck he is right now. Everybody just sees that he has it, and they were just like, well, fuck, I deserve that too then.
Yeah.
Well, they don't fucking work for it. So I have a huge problem with all of this right now.
Do you relate that issue to your age or more my age?
I think a lot of it is, unfortunately, it's your guys' age right now.
And
I really do.
I'll agree with that. But I think another thing of that, and Jarrett and I had the conversation, he just brought up in passing because we went and we got some chairs out of Warwood Middle School, and he was like, back then, this was it. This Warwood from here to school, that was it. That was your world. That was our world. We didn't have anything else to worry about. Even in high school, like, that's your main high school. It doesn't go anywhere but behind that. And then even when you get in college, you're at your limit. So when you get out of school, I feel like when you get to an age where you're out of that bubble, then you're good. But when you're in a sphere of like, all of my life is condensed into high school and whether I'm the most popular and whether I have the coolest sneakers or but when you're out of that, I just got out of that thing and I feel probably better about myself than I have back when I was in high school and later middle school. But I feel like when you're in that sphere of like, this is my life. Like, my life doesn't extend beyond high school, the walls of my high school, or the walls of my elementary school.
And you're not supposed to think of that at that age. And you're not wrong.
And I think in that environment, it's much more volatile when you have social media telling you that you have to be a certain thing. Whereas, like, my brain's not like, I'm not in a free environment where I can say I can go do whatever the hell I want. Whereas, like, if I want to pick up and move, I can pick up and move. If I want to start a job somewhere else, I can start a job somewhere else. Whereas in high school, I'm dependent on somebody. I am around these people certain amount of days. My life is almost controlled to a certain degree because that's all you know. That's it.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
So I mean, I that's kind of where I see it, is like when you're out of that, you have my mental fortitude now is way better than it was when I was in high school, because in high school that was it. That was all I knew was who was the coolest in high school. So
and that's a good point.
I think the points you just made were very, very good, Jeff. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I do see what you were saying. I understand. You put it in good words. Actually, you're in bed at night and you have all this pressure on you on social media. Fortunately, I never had to deal with that.
Yeah.
And again, I'd
That's
like
a
to
very
think
good
that
point.
I'd like to think though that I'm. Well, you say though that I was manufactured strong enough by my family upbringing and in the support groups I had that I would be able to withstand that. But I don't know that for sure.
And neither do I.
So we don't.
I
mean,
may have crumbled
so that's
too. Fuck,
the
I
hard.
don't know.
And again, it doesn't excuse it by any means. But I do get what you're saying, Joe, because I never lived that.
For example,
when I went home, I was protected. You had landline phone, so you get one friend to call you at a time, or vice versa. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have. I barely had the internet when that just was starting. So he didn't have it.
Oh yeah, I fight with my brother and sister. We had a landline. Or
He
someone
wanted to
trying
use
to
it.
call. It's
Right.
always
And
busy.
right?
Yeah, like
Get a hold of
That
anybody.
was the struggles we went
Yeah,
through.
like when I was in middle school, all I did was I played video games, went to bed, and couldn't wait to see my friends the next day. Whereas, like, I look on social media, the very first thing I see on social media, somebody I know vaguely is the girl is pregnant and she's with her boyfriend or whoever it is. They look super happy. They look like their life is awesome. They got engaged. If I lay down in bed and I look at that and I'm a guy that's like in high school or whoever, even now I'm like, maybe I should be that. Maybe that's what I should
Like
be
they're
doing.
living the life. Right?
I think one thing that really, really hurts your generation, Job, is this idea that life is just perfect.
Yeah.
And like you're just saying right there. But so many kids have never experienced what the real world problems are, and little shit it just sets them off. Like they can't handle it.
Job, he and I were talking today. Kid, he graduated from 2 days ago or yesterday, committed suicide.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, kid from Warwick.
Oh, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
did.
Yes, he did.
Oh, geez.
I heard it on a scanner last night
Yeah,
too.
Was that what all those sirens were?
Well, that was,
that
for
was the fire.
But
Yeah.
I was listening to the
So
scanner.
we got to bleep his name.
So,
Bleep his name out.
so why? What happened with him? Maybe he saw all these people that were showing off and he didn't have it. And
Listen, I got to say, you're right, because I'll say this: it bothered me a lot when I was just coming into the working field. It bothered me. Like, there was kids like my age or younger that were going on these elaborate trips. They didn't have they were living lives that I would never. And I was like, and it bothered me. Now, as I got older, it's like I don't care about this. But that is it's to me it'll always be like you want to earn the stuff you do. I feel like a lot of people just skip steps nowadays, and it puts pressure on kids that can't keep up. If you got families that don't have money, and you got all these friends that are going on all these ridiculous things. They don't no job, but they'll go on like 9 cruises a year, and they just fucking
what
live
they
like
are? They're in fucking debt.
or they're entitled. One of the two.
Do I have one more point? Or,
I was gonna say real quick. Well, damn, that bummed me out.
I thought you knew. Oh, Jarrett.
No,
Jarrett
I didn't
was
know
talking
that.
about it. Okay.
Jeez, I just saw him the other day.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah,
He was a
did you
nice
hear it?
kid.
I found out today who actually was, and I know he was buddies with Derek. And
because he was into music.
Yes,
he was.
I think he was a couple
Damn.
years younger, or maybe the same age. But yeah,
I wasn't good. I mean, I
know,
wasn't
but
good
still,
friends.
you hate to hear shit like
Yeah,
that.
but-
I got my views on that too.
But my point. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Even if people don't have a great life, even if like right now, I could post on Instagram and make my life seem like it's the greatest life that of anybody. Like I could post pictures of this computer and of all this gear and stuff, and post it and make it seem like when we went to PNC Park, I could post it all over social media. And I know we do that for the podcast, but that's for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, not personal gain.
Like, I could post that regardless of whether my life is I'm a millionaire or billionaire.
Right.
I could make it seem like that. And I think a lot of people do that. And when either they realize that life isn't the way that I'm portraying it to be, or they can't hold that image up anymore, I feel like that's also...
You're right.
Man, that just one of our favorite Styx songs, "The Grand Illusion."
Yep,
you listen to
it
the
is.
words of that song.
Yep.
It's 45 years old, but it's basically what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
That it's almost a fantasy.
Don't be fooled.
What's going on?
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
And that's a very good point. And actually, if you talk to anybody, and I was being a little facetious about broke, all these people that are driving around, they live in a $500,000 home, and they are driving the Tahoes and this and that. Well, and you know what kind of money they're bringing in because you know what kind of jobs they have. They are fucking broke. When I tell you broke, and actually my financial advisor, his famous tagline is, they're broke and they don't even know they're broke.
Right, exactly.
That's the worst part about it. And it's true. It's a big facade. And the thing about it, it's so sad that you're trying to make everybody else happy or trying to do something for everybody else, and it's not for you. And that's the part that I can't wrap my head around.
Right.
But I'm going to answer my own question real quick, and I'm not saying, because I do agree, social media, you really didn't answer the question. From you, I know you said it was a little bit social media, but you didn't give your own answer. But I'm going to give mine real quick. As you guys know, my feelings on the Catholic Church. I was raised Catholic. That whole scene right now has just got me so wore the fuck out. But they did start something. I want to say it's about 10 or 12 years ago, because our neighbor tried to get me involved with it.
Yeah, they met last night, I believe, next door to your house.
But the Catholic Church started a thing called This Man Is You. And it's because they thought one of the biggest reasons why church was failing, why the whole Catholic religion was failing, was because of lack of men.
Agreed.
And I'll be honest with you, I think a lot of what we're talking about right now is and I'm not saying here, once again, men aren't better than women, none of that kind of shit, but I still think I'll go back to what I always say. We're put on this earth for reasons. We are men for reasons, and we're women for reasons.
Right,
and we both have our qualities that help make this world spin on its axis. And at the end of the day, I think a lack of male figures in kids' lives is driving a lot of the bullshit. Yes. So as much as I can't stand the Catholic Church right now, I do think what they're trying to do is very valid. I think it could go to society too. You could just sidestep the Catholic
100%.
Church.
I agree 100% with that, Jeff.
So
well said.
That's my thing.
Oh, and everybody's,
I'm going home now. It's really good seeing you guys.
Entitled, and nobody, nobody's held accountable. And when you're sitting in your basement, you don't have a dad there to discipline you, and God forbid somebody tells you no.
Yeah, that's another problem, Chris. No one wants to hear no.
No one wants to hear you can't do this. And they can't handle adversity.
Think about how many times your parents said no to you. A lot.
I got pissed,
and I'm
but
glad.
I got over it.
And it made me realize later in life how right they were and how stupid I was.
Yes, exactly.
Or if you got in trouble in school, you weren't going to go home and they were going to call the principal and say, why you pissed? I knew my ass was going to be
no doubt.
Yes. And they weren't going to say, oh, what did they?
No.
There wasn't even a question.
No,
it was, okay, come over here. Turn around.
Yep.
Well, there was a fear at home. There was a fear at home. You were more fearful for home than you were.
You're right, and that helped us respect our teachers.
Without a doubt.
Which we don't have that either.
No.
I'll just say, just not playing devil's advocate, more so piggyback off that. There are guaranteed some piece of shit men out there that leave women to take responsibility for a family. I'm going to say that and I'm not saying there have to be. I know that there are incredible mothers out there that do an incredible job.
Oh no, I think he's saying that the void that those shitty men leave.
And that's
the problem.
Yeah,
part of it.
But I'm just saying,
hands down, females do it. Here's the deal. My mom was a phenomenal lady. My wife is 100% females. And I'll be honest with you, my household doesn't run without my wife.
And I knew that's what you meant. I knew that's what you meant, but I wanted to reiterate.
No. That's the reason why I said that men aren't better than women, blah, 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 vice versa. That's the reason why I preluded that. No, I am pro-woman 100%. No, but I am. I'm not even being facetious. I think I've said this on the show, for women still to be behind the 8 ball in the 21st century is probably the most fucked up thing in this. I mean, it's dumb. Yeah. Fucking dumb.
Well, Cheryl went around you and Luke could probably starve.
Oh, fuck. Hands down. I'd be 120. Maybe I need to do that.
Without those meatballs, I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
Let's go to break, John.
We'll go to break here. We'll come back, a little bit of history and some birthdays.
Oh, hey, I'm Gary the Rat, and I'm here to save you. Look, I know you're buried under 15,000 pounds of rubble right now, but so what? Hey, at least you can listen to the Pine Room Podcast while you're down here. Stay put. I'm going to go eat some trash. You're listening to the Pine Room Podcast.
Well, I didn't realize this when we started this show, but this episode is technically our year anniversary.
It's crazy.
Technically our year anniversary, because last episode would have been 52, which means this would have been our year anniversary of the show we would have been right down at Thou Who Shall Not Be Named right now.
And the funny part about it, if we didn't start talking about this, it wouldn't even have dawned on us.
No, I mean, I was just thinking about that because I was looking at one of these, and I remember seeing, which is one did I remember seeing on here? Might have been Ponce de Leon, maybe.
Typhoid Mary. We
talked about something. But anyway, yeah. Happy anniversary.
Happy
Doug.
anniversary. Happy anniversary.
I didn't even realize that when we came in here. But
Did you guys buy me anything by chance?
Yeah.
Flowers are on the way.
Yeah, I got a box of chocolates outside.
Box of chocolates.
But happy anniversary to us. It's a year in the running. I know we were supposed to be 52 today, but we are 51. We have had a lot of fun over the past year, so there's more to come with that. But I'll keep the sentiment out of it right now, and we're going to get into some more light stuff. I think we might as well hit history, unless you guys want to hit a couple of these different news stories. And there's couple.
Let's go history.
Go history. Well, I really did, man. I wanted to hit on this one.
There's some on there I'd like to, but the
river dolphin that bites the woman's foot.
Yeah.
In Bolivia.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah,
stay out of the river in Bolivia.
The river dolphin. No, but let's see here. One of the history things I want to the April 2nd, 1877. I don't know whether this was in some sort of group or a show.
Wait, what was this one?
April 2nd, 1877.
That's where I was looking. I think
first
that's awesome.
human cannonball act performed in London.
It was some little teenage girl they shot out of her family. It was like in the circus or something, I think. And,
I think that's awesome.
They shot her out of there.
I shot her out of a cannon. That's something Super Dave would do.
Super Dave Osborne.
Super Dave Osborne.
Showtime, dude. Back in the day, that shit was great.
He was incredible.
Unbelievable.
He was. That was really funny.
Bob Einstein. He was awesome.
Wonder how safe it was to do that.
That's what I was going to say.
1877.
Physics probably wasn't the upper echelon at that time.
No.
So to know how
and
hard
explosives
and far and all that
stuff,
stuff,
like how
that's
you
crazy.
could explode a girl out of a cannon.
That's
and not
impressive,
hurt her.
actually. I'm just going to volunteer my daughter. You go.
Yeah, put her in there. She may not have any legs after this, but we'll do it anyway.
Yeah, that's
unbelievable.
Maybe one of us can be a human cannonball one day.
Unnecessary.
You think any kid when they
I don't think I could fit in the
when
silo.
the teacher asked, "Hey, what do you want to be when you grow up?" And the guy says, "Human cannonball."
What's better, that or the guy that gets the one shot in his stomach?
Oh, I like him. I love him. Oh man, I wish I had this set up so we could react to some stuff.
Shoot the cannonball
in his stomach?
What was that on, Jackass?
No, here, Matt, can you hand me the Roku remote and I'll switch this over because I really want to.
Sorry.
Let's see. Eiffel Tower opened in Paris in 1889.
Yeah, how about that?
Anybody been to the Eiffel Tower?
I have not.
Nope.
No desire.
You know, it's funny you
Paris
say
is
that.
a mess.
I'm not going anywhere.
Paris is fucked up.
You know, it's funny. I wrote that down at the bottom of my thing. What's going on in Paris right now?
Oh,
I mean, I'm not
Jesus.
leaving. I'm lucky to leave Wheeling anymore. I don't want to go anywhere. Can you imagine?
There's enough place if you do want to go. There's enough places to visit in this country.
Right,
You don't need
exactly.
to go.
That are probably far safer than anything
Yes.
outside of this country. Jesus.
I would agree.
Well, I
with that.
saw the
Good
one.
Lord.
I had it.
I mean, honestly, if you go into another part of the world now,
It's probably more dangerous in
and you
Paris
get
now
it,
than
and
it
you
was.
get yourself in trouble, it's your own fault, in my opinion.
I agree with
You
that.
should not be
45?
going anywhere out of this country right now.
No.
Yeah. Paris is more dangerous now than it was in 845 when it got sacked by Viking raiders on March 29th. I think I take my chances back then.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go John Gotti on us. April 2nd,
Yeah.
1992. He's found guilty. The Dawn.
Look at that rap sheet, too.
I know, right?
Wonder if Teddy Tesauros knew him.
Murders,
You know,
loan sharking.
I'm still, honestly, I just talked to Gregory about this the other time on our weekend. I still want to get him on the show.
Oh, I think it'd be awesome.
I'm telling you.
Would he be willing to tell some stories? Or you think?
I really do. I
Did
think
he have ties to any of these?
The which guy? Who
This
are you
kinda-
talking about?
Mr. T will talk, but I think that honestly,
The old man.
yeah, I do. I think I don't know. I think actually not even so much if we wouldn't go so like that aspect, more the gambling aspect.
I think it'd be awesome.
Like to be able to him give us some
Wait,
things.
a mobster?
He had some. He had
Yeah,
some
I don't
people.
know if that's a good idea.
He had some people. I don't think he's going to incriminate himself now. I think it's way beyond that.
And I'll be honest,
John
all those-
Gotti.
most of those guys are dead.
Oh,
I'd love to
God,
get an
yeah.
old organized crime boss.
Wouldn't that
on.
be unbelievable?
Yeah,
They
it'd be
called
fun.
John Gotti. I think they called him Teflon.
Teflon
John.
Don,
Yeah,
yeah,
he did,
Teflon
because
Don,
his
that's
charges never stuck.
Yeah.
I think if Ted Tesauros could really I think it'd be.
Well, hands down, he talks. I mean, the gambling side, I know that he would talk about. I just think it would probably get a little gray on the other side of things. But just the gambling side, like when he sits down and talks to us now about how he had people all over the country and working for him and talking about best lines, because you obviously before the internet, you'd be able to call into Pittsburgh and get a better Pittsburgh line.
Oh, yeah.
Like all that shit and the how everything was based over. Let's be honest, it was all based on payphones and like shit that you would never think about now because nobody even knows what the fuck a payphone is. It's crazy.
We were just talking about the other day. We were just talking about it. Jarrett said, "I never used a payphone in my life."
It's crazy. That's how. That's.
Wonder if you think he knew Hankish? You think he was not was best friends or anything, but he probably had some good. Yeah. He and Hankish were. Yeah,
I'll be honest. They went on vacations together.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. You can say what they want about Paul Hankish, but I've heard back in the day, Wheeling was clean, well run. Mm-hmm. The kids were taken care of.
Yeah.
The kids were taken care of. The bad guys were taken care of, and the guys that were running Wheeling, which today they'd say, "Oh, you can't." We're taking care of the right things. Now, were they making money? Some
there's some bad stuff that comes with it. Of course, there is.
But
Things
overall,
were cleaned up, 100%. And you talk.
There's a code with those.
I would
guys.
love to have been in that era. Would have loved
Well, have
it.
you ever read the book? There's
I have not.
That
Good
book.
book.
It's 100 pages. It's
an easy
for
read.
idiots like me.
I read it.
It's like a
what was the name of
paperback.
the book?
It's
not real
something
thick.
of
it's a very.
Does it have Wheeling in the title?
It does.
I think it does.
It's a very good book.
It's a great. You would love it.
Yes.
It talks nothing but Steubenville.
Yeah,
Wheeling,
Bill Lias.
Bill Lias.
From Own Where I
the
Work
battle
at.
between Lias and Hankish.
Okay.
It talks about Steubenville, Wheeling, and the ties to the big mafios in the Chicagos and the New York.
God,
area.
I'd love that.
It's unbelievable.
I'd love to get someone on that could talk. Obviously, all those guys are probably gone, but Ted could probably at least give you sort of a background of the whole setup and how it operated. I think that's so intriguing to me.
Oh my God, I love.
I think
mafia and just that kind of stuff. Organized crime is one of the most fascinating.
I think it's unbelievable.
I could watch stuff on that for hours and hours.
They
and
did a
hours.
lot of good things for people, and especially the kids.
Without a doubt.
Man, anybody hurt kids now? Could you imagine if there was a child abuser back in the day? Yeah. What those guys? Listen, it wouldn't have been. It would have been.
That would curb it.
It would have been. It might have been out in public that they would have just.
Well, they'd have made
his nuts would have been
example
gone,
of him, and they would have strung him up somewhere.
Strung him up.
Everybody would have known who did it, but there was no way to tie it to him. And then it would make.
And you know what? Nobody would have investigated it. Nope. It would have been.
Here's a couple of those.
And you know what? That kid or guy doesn't do that anymore. It's a deterrent
because he wouldn't be alive.
And his dick's cut off, so he can't.
Nobody else would do it. Nobody else, when they see
honestly,
that, wouldn't do it.
There's something to be said about that. Those times, people have
100%.
They just respected each other. Guys that are your enemies, there's still a code to handle it all, and we don't have that anymore.
God, it was hustle and bustle too, man. It was always action somewhere at the Sportsman's or wherever it might have been. There was action going on.
I'm telling you, Marcus, you need to get that book.
I knew.
Yeah,
I knew.
It's true. It's such a good book.
And
it's not going to take you long to read.
And the other thing that always stands out to me with all those guys was loyalty.
100%.
You're disloyal, or you break the code of trust. You're done.
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 You'd have to ask for permission to do things. If you didn't get it, then you're out. Like if you go off rogue, one of lieutenant goes off and does something unauthorized, that's the end of him.
I could have seen you, Matt, back in the day. You would have
Uncle G.
You would have run like spot sheets, or you would have done.
You probably too.
You would have done
the room with the chalkboard.
You'd have done fun stuff for the guys, and you'd have run and got them hamburgers and stuff, and then come back and run spot sheets, and then you'd
probably had to bury a few bodies once in a while.
But then he messes up a spot sheet, and we find him. His legs
they
broken
wouldn't worry
down
about it.
Street.
It's just
as long as they're getting the money.
That's what I was going to say. As long as
the money's right.
As long as the money. If you're supposed to come back with $30, you better not come back with $29.
No way, you're finished.
Have you ever seen the movie Bronx Tales?
Yes.
He'd be Colangelo.
Yeah.
Big C. Right?
I could see him getting really into that. And
I love it.
He'd be like, what's the name? In Casino, he'd be. The guy that
I'm drawing Robert De Niro's character. Ace Rothstein.
He'd make his way up. Every year, he'd be getting a little more, and then he'd be in a suit, and He'd be like
so awesome.
his hair would
So
be
fucking
slick back.
no doubt.
Cuckoo would end up being
Sharon
like
Stone.
what was it? Joe.
Oh yeah, Joe Pesci.
Joe
Yeah,
Pesci.
because
Without a
Cuckoo
doubt.
would fuck up, and
He'd
then he'd lose some of the money.
He'd steal somebody's wife too. That'd be another problem he'd have.
Who's that, Joe?
No, I was going to say, that I find.
Oh, that's a
intriguing.
cannibal. I thought
guy.
that was.
I don't think that's John Gaudy.
I was just gonna say. Oh my
Oh
lord.
my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go.
Wait, what's he claimed
Well,
to
I don't
be?
want to play the whole thing because I don't want us to get hit for copyright. But he can take. I've seen this. He has people. Yeah.
Well, that was a real good
Hey,
effort by that one guy.
What are they walking into there after they
Looks
punch?
like a bar.
bar.
Jeez,
Time
they
to go
probably,
drink
they
a
probably
beer.
all got a free drink if they
100%.
punch him in the gut.
And the thing is, he's not like a big ripped guy. Oh, look, they're stepping on him.
God.
Jeez.
Jesus.
He must have had one of them ab flex machines.
What's this guy's name?
Frank Richard?
I guarantee he
Cannonball
died
Richard.
of internal bleeding.
Yeah,
no doubt about it.
No
They can hit him
way.
with that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God! Wait, did he die of internal bleeding?
I don't
No,
know.
I
Oh,
don't
you said that. Yeah, I
Hey,
thought you knew
well,
that.
if for people that are just listening, this guy's built kind of just like an average guy. I mean, he's not. He's just. There's nothing super fantastic about him. He's bald. He's a normal looking dude with
He's not real
slacks on.
tall.
and
He's not real big.
Well, guys are stepping on him.
got a hell of a cool
on roo-
muscle, though.
They're stomping on him on a rooftop. They were punching him as they were going into a bar, and then they just hit him with a sledgehammer. You can watch this on YouTube. We have the stream or the display up. So, I mean, people were literally just punching him as hard as they can, and he's
Ooh.
I was
taking
right in
it.
a sternum.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He looks like, if you look at it, he looks like
shakes
he's.
his head.
Oh, then they load the cannonball up into a big cannon, which I'm sure it's not a real.
Thank
cannonball.
God he put goggles on.
I was just gonna say the same
Thank God he
thing.
put goggles on.
Oh!
Jesus.
Oh!
Yeah, if he wouldn't have put
I think
goggles,
Curly
he'd
did
I was
that
going to
in
say,
Three
it looks like
Stooges.
Curly
I
right
think
now.
he
a little
did
bit.
do that in one of the Three Stooges. I think
Jesus.
they had a
Heaven.
shot with a cannonball.
Because I'm good.
twice a day.
Thank God I got my glasses
Yeah,
on.
like they're just walking into the bar, hitting him, and then
This ought to be on a Tums commercial or something. Like Tums.
Look at
Roll
that.
aids.
yeah, that's a famous picture right
Oh,
there.
wow.
Oh, yeah, Homer Simpson did it. I know one
Yeesh.
there.
Wow.
Good stuff. John Gotti to the cannonball guy.
that is
Yeah.
The
hilarious.
Gambino crime family.
What else here? We kind of we went down a rabbit hole. But
Yeah.
anything here you guys want to hit on?
There's a new show called Rabbit Hole.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
No,
Speaking
it was
of
on
shows,
Amazon Prime. I
speaking
think.
of shows,
No,
Paramount.
is that
Tubi.
good? Is it good?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet.
Chris, don't you have
But do you guys-
Tubi?
Give me a good movie or a
Well, I'll tell you.
Fubo.
Have you watched Mayor of Kingstown?
No.
The whole thing?
Wait,
who's in
Jeremy
that one?
Renner. I'm telling you, I got to put that show up in there, and I'm very, very, very harsh critic of shows.
Netflix? Or-
No, it's a
Nah.
Paramount. It is
Oh, okay.
exceptional.
How
If
many
you
how
can hit
seasons?
2. It's 16 episodes. I'm telling you, it's riveting. It is outstanding.
What's the
from
genre?
start.
What is it? What is
They
it?
run there's like 5 maximum security prisons within this 20-mile block of Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
No, I've not seen it.
And Jeremy Renner and his brother and his dad and his other brother kind of built this thing where they are like the conduit from the prisoners to the across like 5 different gangs, the blacks, the Aryans, the Mexicans, on down, and they work with the prison wardens in trying to continue to make peace in these areas. He's basically a fixer. He's trying to help. Okay, this gang has a beef with this gang. Okay, he's trying to go and solicit and facilitate a solution. And they work with these people that also have their main job would have been like, oh, they're trying to help people out in tough spots where their loved ones are locked up or they're in a bad spot and they get them transferred to a safer area. Anyway, he's basically, it's all prison system, and it's a really it's a little depressing, but man, it is really
Really? I have to
it's
watch
one of the
that.
better shows that I've watched in a couple
Okay.
of years. I
Mayor
highly
Kingstown.
yes,
Okay.
I highly recommend it. It's on Paramount.
All right.
Did somebody mention the Eiffel Tower? Who said the Eiffel Tower?
Chris.
Well, we just
Your dad
mentioned.
said
I
it.
just said, had anybody been to it?
Well, yeah, in 19.
Yeah,
that's
where
what
we
you
got it.
said.
Yeah, that's where we
Sacked
got
by
it.
Viking Raiders.
No, I said that. I said
Minnesota.
it's
Oh, yeah.
safer in
Minnesota.
Paris then than it was
Yeah,
now.
Jesus. I mean, you don't think about Paris as a place. Also, have you
And the Treaty of Paris we had this
pictures of
week,
pictures of the Eiffel Tower? I've seen.
It doesn't impress me, does it?
Well, it's like the actual tower itself is cool, but then they don't show that around that area. It's like just like it's not real spectacular. It's just like in the middle of some crummy park. It's nothing like fantastic.
Yeah. Right. You're not going to go there. How about birthdays, Job?
Oh, birthdays. And we did these on the radio. We had a little birthday tune even. Actually, I'll see if I can find it real quick.
I think my favorite singer, my favorite female singer is on there.
Celine Dion or Reba?
Celine Dion.
She's good.
Oh, I think she's unbelievable. Plus,
I like her.
She's smoking hot.
When she sings in French, she's
that's
really
a shame.
good.
Like she can't do that anymore with her
she's
ailments.
a mess.
I know. But in a day, I think she's smoking hot. I thought the best voice ever.
One of the best probably concerts of the modern era probably was when her and the Bee Gees were together.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, remember it was on that video. Remember that? It was part of that video. The one we.
They sang that song that the Bee Gees wrote.
Man, that was really, really good.
She can kill
and they
very
said
good.
She can't. She got stiff person's disease. I don't know what the actual name of, but she
whatever it is, it doesn't
why
sound
did she
good.
Get it?
Basically, rigor mortis.
I know, Jesus.
Early advanced rigor mortis. Yeah,
that looks miserable. I had a classmate that has that.
Chris, I thought you would be talking about this. March 27th, 1977, worst aviation disaster ever occurs when two Boeing 747s collide at the Tenerife Airport in Spain. 583 people died.
Two of them collided.
And as I'm saying that, Job's playing
happy birthday.
We want to send a happy birthday shout out to
Emily.
Monday.
Emily, 2022.
Happy birthday.
Chris, we wished her a happy birthday on the radio.
Yesterday and today.
Thank you very much.
I hope she was listening. She's starting to become an avid listener.
She was listening today because she texted Jared.
Oh yeah, she wanted to know who Roy C. Mercer was.
Did you give it away?
No,
I
don't think Jared.
She should have called in.
I know. We got to get more people to call in. If we can get people to call in,
younger callers.
Would entice more
people. We need to hear young
opinions.
opinions.
Hey, real quick, let's give a shout out here. Quentin Tarantino, Fergie, Reba, Vince Vaughn, Lady Gaga, Brendan Gleeson, MC Hammer, Celine Dion, Christopher Walken, Pedro Pascal, and Michael Fassbender.
Who's
Happy
Michael
birthday!
He's in the comics. What's his?
He was
Magneto. Yeah, Magneto.
He played in a bunch.
He's got some other good movies too.
He played in Inglourious Bastards. Yeah. He was the guy that he caught when he flashed 3. He went like that instead of going like that. He flashed 3, and then they shot him in the nuts underneath the table.
Wait, what movie was that?
And Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was in that. It was you ever see that movie? My goodness.
The best part about it, most movies you guys talk about and most people that are on this birthday list, I have no fucking clue.
Especially the actors.
Matt, I love the quote on there today.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, without further ado, I say it's 7:20. Let's wrap it up with the quote. Who wants to hit it? Jeff, why don't you hit it?
Quote or phrase of the week: how much human life is lost waiting?
Wow. Isn't it like I think it's a third of your life is spent sleeping.
Well, you're waiting. Waiting.
I think some people might
waiting
be more
for
than
the
half,
water to
like
boil.
My brother.
Waiting for your clothes to dry.
Gina's got him whipped into shape now. He doesn't sleep as
waiting
much.
to see the doctor.
Waiting to see. Right. Right. That's a good one. That's the best one yet.
Hurry up and wait.
Hey, anybody got any hot pit cold mug?
Yeah, I got it. What's bad? Cold mug?
Hot pit.
Hot pit.
Oh.
I told this. I said this to Jarrett the other day. I stopped at Dollar General where they get out 2 spaces over. There's no car there. Somebody dumped their whole fucking cigarette ashtray out on the ground.
They must not think that's litter. They must not think that's litter.
And there's 2 trash cans right in front of
I agree.
Save-A-Lot.
Litter's bad.
And it's like
that whole plaza.
You got to be better than that.
It's
litter's bad.
If you litter and you listen to this podcast, unsubscribe. Don't listen to it. We don't want anything to do with it if you litter.
It just pissed me off. Like
dumb.
There was like 25 or 30 butts laying there. They're probably still there.
Fucking gross.
I watched a lady. I'll never forget this. I was going into Lowe's and I was driving like in the intersection coming off of the highway off of when you're coming down. What's the one going up?
70?
Oh yeah, coming down off 70, and we're coming off the exit. Lady rolls down her window, takes a large McDonald's cup,
Bag? Oh,
throw it out
I
the
just
window.
can't believe it.
Right out the
get it.
window.
Actually, you know what, Jub? If you litter, email the show and send us your address. We're bringing all our trash to your house.
Yeah, like how is
Dumping
that?
it on your lawn.
What you can't wait 5 more minutes to throw it in the
Pigs,
trash
but
can?
again, no respect.
Gross.
It's
Barbarians.
another part
If I
of
did
our
that,
society.
my mom would knock my fucking teeth
Oh
out.
my God.
Like,
It's
if you
another
did
part
that.
of our society, fellas. It's
You're not
another.
wrong.
There's another part. This one. This.
Now, if you're throwing like an apple core gum out the window, that's
something
Well,
that's
not gum. You
biodegradable.
shouldn't even throw gum, but I do that. But I agree.
I
But
literally-
well,
apple-
birds build a nest out of the gum.
They do.
Or they get in their
Or
beak
they
and
the
die.
beak and
I was
die.
gonna say,
Yeah.
die.
But apple core, yeah.
Right,
'cause
no more
that's
gum. Don't litter gum then.
biodegradable.
I
but
believe
one
some of
like
those
little
Canadian
critter
geese
will
chew the
find
gum and
apple,
die.
right?
There are too many.
Yeah,
of them.
deer.
Right.
A deer.
Yeah, Jared and I
oh, no,
love
an
to
apple
whip,
core, yeah.
Jared and I love to whip fruit into the woods. That's fun.
But a paper bag.
Yeah, you guys
or-
like to hit them with golf clubs, too.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Like going up Cherry or Riley Hill.
Oh, it's gross.
Bags of garbage
Gross.
just sitting around.
The thing
Where's
about
the prisoners at to pick this shit up?
Yeah,
Well, they let
we
them all,
might-
they let them all out.
They-
We might. Hey, the Pine Room Podcast might adopt a highway.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if there's litter on that highway,
Well, that's
What are
why
we
you
gonna call
adopt it.
It'll be
You
litter
adopt
free
the
zone,
highway
right.
because you keep it
That
litter
is great.
The
Yeah, but
George
what'd
A.
you think
Kettlewell
you
wait,
Expressway.
wait. If you adopt the highway, then do we have to clean it up?
Yep.
Yeah. We
No,
got to take care
No,
of it.
we adopt it.
Bullshit.
And it
No, we're not doing that.
No, I think we should and name it after the neatest guy in the group, George Kettlewell. The
right.
George Kettlewell Expressway.
then
like
we're
1
gonna.
mile
All right.
of
Then if we
Have
adopt
his
the
face
highway,
on
what did you think adopt a highway meant?
I thought it meant you just put your name on it and then somebody
And then
else
you-
cleans
then
it
you-
up. Like the city cleans it up.
We're gonna make them our bitches.
I mean,
my
yeah.
Lord.
But no, what?
Maybe we should do a work release program.
Help
with the prisoners.
society job. That's all. It's a good deed.
I get that. I'm not some piece of shit, but I'm just saying.
Well, I didn't say you were.
Well, you say that's why you're helping society. It makes me sound bad, but I'm saying if we have a stretch of highway, we put cameras on the highway and we get license plate of people that litter,
Oh, boy.
And then what do we do?
I don't know.
and
if
we
we're- I
go
don't
to
know
their
if we're
house
allowed
and
to
we
do that.
slice their tires.
Yeah, and then when they have a handgun and
Well, then we
That's
slice
That's a
their
risk I'm
throats.
willing to take.
oh boy, then not me.
Well, we better not
I'm
do
out.
that.
well, then
idea,
what?
right?
Then what are
out.
we going to do to solve the litter problem?
I don't know. I think I'd rather go.
Nothing.
That's what we should take to
Nothing.
the.
It's another one. In the,
That's what we should take to the Oval Office. How are we going to solve the litter
Right.
problem?
Yeah.
Forget about the opioids,
No,
child
no,
molestation.
litter.
Forget it.
Hey, real
Joe.
quick, when you mentioned about gun control, I saw a quote. I don't think I said this before, but it made me laugh. It said, when murders are committed, and they say blaming the gun for the murder is like blaming a pencil for a misspelled word.
Right, that's about right.
And
There's
I
a lot
just
of good
think-
analogies.
It's a great
like that.
analogy,
I
100%.
Yeah,
saw
it
that,
really
and I
is.
don't know if I may have brought it up before, but I thought, man, that is so true.
And the more you think about that, the more
What
right
if-
on point it is.
What if it's just a really bad pencil?
well, the tip breaks.
Well, Chris knows
Yeah.
a lot about pencils.
Yeah.
He's the best scorekeeper in
Right,
the country.
right.
so-
And I got a load of them.
You a mechanical or a traditional?
If we're in a shooting slump, I'll switch.
He's got both.
What's your
graphite
Hey,
shaft,
what's
graphite
all right,
tip.
they call you in. You gotta smash one off the wall, double in the gap. What pencil you using? Wooden or you gonna go mechanical?
What? We're double off the
You
wall.
it's your walk off. It's your walk off pencil. Something you gotta.
Like
you're gonna write it.
You're
gonna-
writing in Bordis's 3,000th point.
No, you're.
I'm using a regular lead
Number
number
two.
two.
Number two.
Hang on,
fresh sharpened?
Hang on.
Oh,
we're,
very-
we're at the line against Morgantown next year, state championship. We're down one, no time on the clock. Lala's at the line for 2 shots. What are you using?
Well,
What are you
I'm
using?
not going to switch it just for that shot.
Natural lumber?
Yeah, but if they were both laying there and you
Oh,
It's a slow mo shot.
I'm going to have to go. I'm going with old school.
Yeah.
oh, you're going wood.
Do you
Yeah.
bring one of those little sharpeners, the little
No, because
His are
I have
sharp when he gets
I have
there.
like 5 of those regular.
What happens if you make a tight turn and it like dulls the pencils in the car?
Oh
Like,
no,
they smash up against
Turn it low.
They smash up. Yeah, they well, he
Where
almost
is
misses the exit.
Where are they? Where
And
are
they're
they?
like in like a little
Pencil
like a,
keeper.
like a sleeve,
Like a pencil keeper,
like
yeah.
a zip up
No.
And they-
portfolio.
they
and they
hit-
hit the side that chips the
it-
tips off.
it got a nub.
Squares them. Yeah,
It'd
and
be
then
a
he
mess.
gets there.
It'd be a
And he
mess.
gets
Ryan,
wait. I got to go to
wreck.
Walmart.
Oh, he calls timeout?
Yeah, no, he tells
he
Coach
tells-
Young we can't start the game yet.
How fast was I driving to the
Jeez,
game?
I'll say.
Hey, I don't
What
know.
a spear into
How
the
fast-
Well, I was gonna say, I think the guy that's in your passenger seat maybe taking one of the fucking eyeball.
Or you had him in the above in the visor and they fell out, chipped on the dashboard.
Hey, real last point. When you were in school and you had a pencil and you were sharpening it with the thing and you take it out and it's not quite there yet, but then you put it back in and you go
Snap
too
it.
far and
And
you
it breaks
snap it off.
Then it's not there. Oh,
And then you got to take another inch off the
What?
pencil to
Yeah,
get
but
it out
you-
of it.
It started out.
Chris, you ever get mad like a referee makes a bad call and you push real hard and snap the
Well, I just
probably a mechanical you do.
mechanical. Yeah,
I'll tell you this
but not
much.
really out of anger or anything.
The next obit that I see, death by number 2.
right?
And there we go, folks. Let's wrap it on that. All right. Thank you for
Good
joining
work
us
today,
here in the
boys.
Pine Room
Yep, that was
Studios.
fun.
Remember
Good
to tune
episode.
in to the radio show Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Mondays from 2 to 3. Tuesdays and Thursday from noon to 3. We're on live stream on YouTube. You can listen WKKX 98.1. And then WVLY 97.1, I believe. That could be wrong. Look it up. You'll find it. Or the WatchdogNetwork.com. And then you can find us. Pine Room Podcast, social media, at the Pine Room Podcast. Email us. Please email us. Somebody email us.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of looking in there and there's spam from like the website.
You don't even know if an
place.
email works.
Yeah, send an email. Contact at thepineroompodcast.com. Say hi. We'll send you a can opener or something. But we
Number 2 pencil.
keep an update on the store. We got a summer package coming out. Might have some tank tops, some visors, some different stuff that you can have for your summer adventures. But then one thing that I want to say is that everything's going to be back on schedule. We had a long week. We had a lot of stuff going on. Things are going to be back on schedule this week. So you're going to have this podcast on Thursday, and then you're going to have the Bettor's Last Stand on Friday, then some stupid stuff in between. He's done some stuff with a million different people, so I got to catch up on all those. So keep tuned in with us. Thank you. Happy anniversary. And we will see you here
Good
next
job.
time in the Pine Room.
All right, boys.
Good
See ya.
night.
Well, it's that time. The coolers are empty, the food's all gone, and the games are over. But that's all right. There's always next week. Follow us on social media to keep up to date with future shows and send any questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to discuss to contact at thepineroompodcast.com. Until then, we'll see you here next time in the Pine Room.